Well, it's been a rocky few weeks on Wall Street, that is for sure. With Britain's decision to leave the EU and a historical presidential election on the horizon here at home, uncertainty is about the only thing that's certain. Here to talk about it this morning, we have Ohio's retirement coach, Greg Taylor. Greg, of course, the president of Legacy Retirement Group and the host of Winning Retirement Radio. Greg, always good to see you.
It's always great to be here.
So we know that the markets, Greg, don't like uncertainty. We don't really love that word. A lot of people, though, are wondering how this is going to affect their retirement accounts. So the first one we're going to talk about is I plan on retiring in the next 5 years. Should I pull my money out of the stock market when it takes a dive? Should I leave it where it is? It is a question every time something happens on TV, we all ask ourselves this.
We really do. And so that brings to the question the two biggest emotions that affect us when it comes to investing: fear and greed. So we want to make sure we don't miss out on that next big gain, yet we're worried that we're going to experience another 25 or 35 or 45% decline like we experienced back in 2008. Now, I don't like knee-jerk reactions when it comes to investing. So I don't believe we should go out and pull all of our money out of the stock market. We don't need to sell everything, but we do, especially if you're 5 years within retirement, you do have to have a strategy that makes you feel comfortable, one that you feel like you can live with. And if it's riding that roller coaster ride all the way up and all the way back down, if that makes you feel comfortable, go for it. But if not, there are strategies out there today using technology that just wasn't around 20 years ago that can really help you to settle those emotions, understand what your worst case scenario or your floor is, and understand exactly what's available today, and also know what your fees are and your exposure to risk. So when you know those things and you know you have a good solid plan, now that allows you to sleep just a little better at night.
Right, and that is what we're all looking for, right?
Yes.
We don't want to be up thinking about our finances. So the second question, this one, I've heard some investors are looking to safer alternatives, which might lead to that, like government bonds, annuities, gold. Which of those do you recommend and why?
See, what you don't want is someone that's got something in their back pocket or hip pocket that they just can't wait to spring on you, whether it be a bond, whether it be an annuity, whether it be gold, any of those things. All those simply are, Robin, are tools.
Okay.
And all we need to do is we need to understand from each individual family what it is they're trying to achieve. So annuities are wonderful when it comes to income planning and generating a lifetime of income that you can't outlive, but they may not be the best tool for long-term growth. So you have to make sure that you've got the right idea of what you're trying to achieve. So if you're talking about long-term growth and someone's trying to sell you an annuity, then they probably don't have your best interest at heart. You know, gold is something that I think perhaps we should all have a little bit of, but should we have that as a main portion of our portfolio? You know, it's using the three worlds of money, using them well, and using them based on what our actual needs are that is truly important.
Okay, Greg, the third question here. The Brexit vote negatively affected the pound. Will there be a ripple effect that eventually impacts the dollar?
It could. You know, as Alan Greenspan, the former Fed chair, says, this is probably just the first domino or just the tip of the iceberg, as he put it. And there's probably going to be more dominoes to fall over in Europe and that whole mess out there. So I don't think we quite know exactly how we're going to be impacted yet.
Okay.
In Europe, I don't think knows really either, but it's definitely a world economy now. It's not just the United States economy and then everyone else. Everything else that happens all around the world affects us. So again, you need to make sure that you have things in place to where you're not going to lose sleep, you're not going to panic, you're not going to do something knee-jerk, but you're going to be able to stay the course because you know you have a course that's destined to succeed.
Okay, Greg, ask the coach question number 4. Is there anything I can do to protect my 401k from the market volatility?
Well, this I'm excited about. We have technology that's just been rolled out in the last few months that we're able to now take our monitoring software that monitors portfolios on a daily basis. We are actually able now, even though people can't always move their 401k from their existing company, and they often don't get a lot of help as to where to put it and know exactly what's going on. Well, we have something called WealthGuard that we can now attach to a 401k, and with WealthGuard, it's going to be monitored every day, and we have a system that you can set up where you can go to it and you can see exactly where you stand, exactly where it was a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, and know that it's being monitored every day. And of course, we monitor that with them. And really, it's really just revolutionary. I'm so excited about that.
All right. Well, something else we're excited about, because we do have an ability for you guys to ask questions to Greg. I just want to quickly mention this email, questions@ohiosretirementcoach.com. If you have something that you are just on the edge of your seat, you need to know the answer to, email that. Now, up next, Kristen, of course, joining us for a look into the crystal ball of retirement. What changes may be on the horizon for future retirees?